Blessed be everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about coming out about being a witch, or not coming out about being a witch. I have done a video on this topic, or would have been about 2 years ago now, so this is an updated version. And you'll probably find some different information here, I hope, than on the first one, but I will put a link to the first video that I did called Coming Out of the Broom Closet in the description field below this video. Before I begin though, for those who don't know me, I'm Sandra Inman, and I'm the author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path and Tapping into Abundance. And if you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, walking the path of the witch in a way that actually brings you joy and pleasure and lots of really good stuff in your life, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. And if you want to know where to start your witchcraft practice but you don't really know where to begin because there's just too much information out there, have a look at my free masterclass, How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. The link is in the description field below this video. Unlike most religions or spiritual practices, being a witch is a really difficult thing to often be out about because it has a lot of negative connotations associated with it, and we have been persecuted throughout history, and in some parts of the world we're still persecuted. So it's not something that we can often come out about safely or feel comfortable coming out about ourselves being a witch. Myself included, even now, even though this is what I do, and when I go to places and people ask me, well, what do you do? I have to tell them what I do. There's still a part of me that feels, how are they going to take this? How are they going to take the fact that I teach witchcraft and that it's a part of what I do as a part of helping people become more connected to themselves? I'm quite surprised though that I haven't had anyone have a negative reaction, and that goes for people who belong to other religions as well. They don't seem to have a negative reaction to what I do. Maybe it's the way I explain it, but they seem to know what it is and they seem to not have a negative reaction to it. I don't feel that I'm treated any differently because they know that. So it's looking much better than what it did, say, 30 or 40 years ago. But you may be in a different situation. You may be in a situation where the community that you're in, or the city that you're in, or the town that you're in, or even the country you're in, may still have serious issues with practicing witchcraft, and so you're not able to come out about it. So I wanted to talk about what some of the advantages are and what some of the disadvantages are about coming out about being a witch. It's your choice, of course, and it's totally up to you whether you come out about it or not. I'm just going to give you some general ideas about what people have said to me about coming out or not coming out. So why would you want to come out about being a witch? Well, first of all, it is about acceptance. It's about you being able to accept yourself and being able to be acceptable as a human being, to have the right to practice the spirituality or the practice of your choice. And everyone else seems to have that right, so why shouldn't we have that right to be able to practice what it is that we do? So it's accepting, part of that self-acceptance and feeling that we can be part of a tribe or part of a community and not have to hide a very important part of ourselves, which is our spirituality, because it's not something that's nice to have to hide. Other people from different cultures who are of different spiritualities have also had that in their history where they've had to hide because of persecution. So it's not something that's uncommon, and it's not something that is particular to Western culture either. But it does feel good to be able to just say what you do and what you believe and feel that you're not going to get persecuted doing it. And it also helps you feel like you're not doing anything bad or wrong. There's an element of subconscious belief that because you've got to hide something, there's something wrong with it. And even though consciously we may know there's nothing wrong with it, we've kind of grown up with a belief that there is something wrong with it, and so hiding it kind of perpetuates that belief, and it can make it very difficult for us to fully accept our practice and accept who we are. and not feel resentment at the same time. There's a freedom associated with being able to express who we are and say what we do. It gives us the right to be who we are, the right of the individual, the right of the freedom of religion and spirituality. It's a freedom thing. You know, spirituality is something that is very deep within all people to some extent, even those who don't believe in it. It's something that's very deep. And when you find a spiritual path, whatever it may be, you know that it is part of who you are, or it is who you are. You're expressing that. It gives meaning to your life. So it's a huge, huge part of your life. And to be able to be out about that can help you feel a lot more freedom and a lot more accepted. Sharing with other people. So if people know that you're a witch, then you can share more about what you do with people to help them understand more about what the craft is. So you become basically an educator. You're educating them about what witchcraft really is and what magic really is. And so you can help dispel some of the myths around magic and some of the expectations that people might have of magic, by simply being out about what you do. And people may come to you with questions to find out more about what this stuff really is in the real world compared to what it's made out to be in the movies and television. So you become an educator. Then you can also practice more in public places. So it's not necessarily that you're going to be doing spells in the middle of the mall, but you can certainly have more celebrations and maybe do a ritual at the beach on the summer solstice, or just even if it's just a small one with just you. Or you could have a group, get a group together, and you can have a circle somewhere out, somewhere in a park or somewhere to celebrate a full moon or a new moon or something like that. So when you're able to be sort of more out about what you do, you can actually be out celebrating nature and be in nature, especially if you live in a city and you can't get out to the countryside where you might be a bit more isolated. You need to be able to practice and not feel that something bad is going to happen to you, or that people are going to criticize and judge you for doing what it is that you're doing. So overall, the why you would come out is just so that you can be more free, so that you can be more you and express yourself and be that educator as well. Now, some of the reasons why you may not want to come out could simply just be it's not safe. And I totally get that, because in some environments and places it isn't safe. There may be family members that know that you're a witch and family members who don't know that you're a witch. You may discriminate, or be more discerning, I should say, about who you come out to. So you may be a witch that's sort of come out of the closet to some groups of people or some rallies, and you don't disclose it to other groups of people or other relatives. So it can be something that you're more discerning about, because you don't feel safe doing it. There may be criticism, there may be judgment, they may treat you differently. They may even cast you out of the family. I've heard things like that. You know, people can get quite extreme with this belief because of all of the beliefs that they have, or the ideas that they have and misconceptions that they have about the craft. And that can be something that is just not worth coming out for, essentially. That discrimination. And whilst discrimination against religion and spirituality in many countries is illegal, in some places people are still doing it, and in other countries it's still probably a death penalty for some people in some countries. So if it's not safe to come out, don't come out. You've got to put your safety first. And as I said, witches aren't the only group of people who've had to hide. The Sufis had to hide in some parts of the Middle East for a long time there, because they were persecuted too. So it's not just witches that have had that problem. A lot of people involved in the occult and magic or mysticism have had to hide because whoever's in power at the time has persecuted them, essentially. Another thing that you may not want to be coming out all the time for could just simply be that you don't want people coming up to you asking you to do spells for them. You may find that that happens and you just don't want to do that. Doing spell work for other people is takes energy. It takes energy. And if you're spending time doing a lot of work for other people and you're not getting anything back in return energetically, you know, whether that's some form of exchange, whether that's money or whether that's some other way of people exchanging with you, then you're just going to burn out. And you're going to find that you get really annoyed and frustrated with people. You may actually feel more empowered by keeping it a secret too. Sometimes keeping this a secret can help you feel like you have more control over your life, that you have something other people don't have, that you're able to have that little bit of being covert and having that safety in the darkness, safety in the hidden, essentially, that people don't know about, which can actually be empowering at the same time. So whilst coming out can be empowering because you're fully announcing who you are to people, being secretive can be empowering too. So it really just depends on where you sit and what situation you're in as to how that operates, because there's power in both the active and the passive, or the initiating, or the giving and the receiving, or the yin and the yang. So it's just knowing what those powers are and when to step into them. Another thing that may happen if you come out that you may be afraid of is that if something goes wrong anywhere, somebody's going to blame you. Because that went on a lot in the Middle Ages. You know, something happened and witches were blamed for it. I know that witches were even blamed for the I can't say this on YouTube, I can't say the word on YouTube, but you know, the situation that we've had recently, particularly in 2020 and 2021, all over the world, witches were blamed for it. I have heard that some people say that witches were responsible for it. So, you know, we're often blamed for things that go wrong. If you do a spell for somebody to help them in some way, they'll get really, really happy with you and you're the best person in the whole wide world. Something bad happens and then all of a sudden it's all your fault, you did something and you're a bad person. People can be like that, unfortunately. So that's why sometimes you have to be a bit more discriminating about who you tell and where you draw the line with things that you do and how you come out to people. So that's something that's a little bit different to the last video I did on this subject. I think I definitely did it about 2 years ago or more, so I will put the link somewhere around here. It'll pop up and you can have a look at that video. It was called Coming Out of the Broom Closet. If you want to study witchcraft with me and practice witchcraft with me and a group of absolutely awesome people, have a look at my Mystery Witch School Academy, the 101 Academy. It's a 12-month course. You go through all of the energy work, the magic, the working with the deities, sabbats, the lunar rites. You work with Hecate as well as other deities, and a bit of that inner self-development work as well, that inner inquiry, which is really important on the path of the witch. So if you're interested in that, have a look at the description field below this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to subscribe, and please comment too. The comments are absolutely awesome and I love reading the comments and I read every one of the comments, so please comment. I'll see you on the next video.